This case study looks at water ingress problems due to sloping sites as well as incorrect installation of downpipes. For this particular investigation, we received a call from a homeowner about excessive water ingress through the garage brick wall as well as the lower roof cavity, especially after a long period of heavy rain. There are 3 parts to this video. In part 1, we will discuss the general observation and water damage that was caused. In part 2, we will discuss the type of testings and investigations that we carried out. And in the final part, we will discuss practical solutions and recommendations that we have provided the homeowners to stop this problem. So, what were the obvious and clear observations that we came across? Well, number 1, water was seeping through the garage roof cavity. Then eventually it found its way through the ceiling plasterboard. The ceiling plasterboard appeared to be damaged, blistered and cracked. As you can see in this photo here, there was a horizontal crack right through the ceiling line. Did this happen straight away? Well, in short, the answer is no. Water has been accumulating in that roof cavity for a very long time actually. The roof insulation material, being glass wool, has been absorbing this water for a long time as well. Eventually, this insulation material, what we call bats, became heavy due to this absorbed water, which then put excessive weight on the plasterboard. Due to this cycle of wetting and drying, eventually the plasterboard lost its capacity. What we say is lost its flexural capacity, and then it cracked. Plasterboards, like concrete, they're pretty weak in tension. So any additional load on the plasterboard will cause it to crack. Number 2, right above the roof cavity, we noticed a wrongly installed downpipe. The upper story downpipe appears to be straight, with a very small load spreader. The load spreader in this photo is the horizontal straight pipe with 3 holes. Now the function of the load spreader is to disperse water onto the lower roof with minimal pressure. In this particular case, there were no bends observed in the downpipes to slow water pressure that is running from the upper roof cavity, running from the upper roof area. As you can see in this photo, water has pooled at the location of the flashing, which is the junction of the lower ridge line and the upper wall. Now, due to this lack of water dispersion on the lower roof, it found its way through the roof cavity via pressure. Number 3, after the roof plumber removed a few tiles, we also noticed that there were no sarking paper positioned under the roof battens. This is a picture here of what a sarking paper looks like. Sarking is basically a hard foil paper that is used primarily for a couple of reasons. Number 1, to improve the thermal efficiency of the building. Usually the foil is positioned towards the roof cavity, particularly in cooler climates like Melbourne. What tends to happen, the roof cavity is a lot hotter than the outer air, so this foil helps to reflect back the heat into the roof cavity without losing the heat to the outer atmosphere. So generally, the thermal performance assessor would specify sarking on the report or on the stamped rated plans. In this case, this is a garage which is a non-habitable zone, so it's probably arguable whether we need sarking in the lower roof cavity or not. The second function of sarking is, in addition to flashing as well as the load spreader, it helps to prevent water from seeping through the roof cavity, especially for tiled roof. You can imagine if water seeps through the tiles, then it could be collected by the sacking paper right to the gutter box. It is always a good practice to have sacking paper under the roof, especially for tiled areas. We will do another presentation on the requirements of sacking paper in future videos. Number 4. There was water seeping to the underside of the double brick retaining wall. As you can see in this cross-sectional image here, there was a double brick retaining wall which was retaining about 1.2 meter high of soil. To the left of this retaining wall, we noticed a pavement about 1 meter wide. This pavement was sloping towards the wall. There was Abelflex compressible material between the brick wall and pavement. However, there was no signs of spoon drains in the concrete to collect any surface water runoff from the pavement. Not only that, but the lowest point, what tends to happen, the actual soil to the underside of the pavement was actually also sloping towards the wall. So water will always follow the low point. Water was collected, eventually water came down onto the underside of the pavement as well as on top of the pavement and was collected behind the wall. The question that we had here, many questions actually, one of them was, what happened to the waterproofing behind the wall? Did it fail? Was there a waterproofing in the first place? What about the agriculture drains behind the wall to collect any surface water runoff? How about the backfill material behind the wall? Was it clay? Was it crushed rocks? Was it no fines concrete? These were the not so obvious things and were hidden. Number 5, to the left of the pavement, there was a steep batter around 30 degrees, more like a hill if you like. It was around 30 degrees. At the bottom of this batter, there were no agriculture drains to pick up the surface water runoff. And we didn't find any graded drains or any form of drains to pick up any surface water runoff. So it makes you wonder, if water is flowing downstream, right from the top of this hill, where would it go after that? Most likely it will be accumulated behind the wall, and then eventually it will actually seep between the underside of the wall into the garage, as you can see here. The other question we had was the soil type for this batter. We didn't know whether it was sandy, clay material, or weathered rock, or fill material. Why is it so important to know the soil type, especially within this batter? Because if it was sand, what tends to happen is that water would seep right through the sand and it will flow downstream. If it is clay, water would automatically flow right across the top of the hill. It wouldn't actually penetrate through the soil. So it was important to do a soil test here, and we will discuss this more in part 2 of this video. Number 6, what we noticed inside the garage was rising damp, which left the bricks spalling. The mortar was staining, and it had discoloration as well. The brickwork appeared to be cracked, and loss of surface skin was also evident. The location of most of the damage was actually at the bottom of the wall, which is a main concern. And why is it a main concern? Because of the weight of this wall is all concentrated at the bottom. When we have loss of compression capacity of this brickwork, then we would be more concerned about the stability of this wall. Number 7, excessive water was then able to migrate to the underside of the adjoining internal stud wall. There was a stud wall here, as you can see. So it was attacking the skirting boards and the bottom plates. Black mold was evident throughout the wall, as you can see in this photo. We also noticed mold inside the roof cavity due to prolonged rain and water ponding there for a long period of time. In the next video, we will discuss a comprehensive list of testings and investigation that was carried out to pinpoint the exact problem. So please bear with us, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.